Well, good evening, everyone. Meteorologist Michael Wilhite here with Southern Indiana weather. Thanks for logging on to this edition of our daily forecast video. It is 8:23 p.m. Eastern Time here, and today's video update is sponsored by Metal Magic in Washington. You can give Chad a call at 698-8555 for all of your paintless dent repair needs. They do a great job, folks. Tell them Southern Indiana weather sent you. Here's a live look at our Southwest Skycam here, looking out our Southern Indiana weather office here. And it's getting dark, so it's a little bit hard to see, but it is pretty much a cloudy sky out there right now. We've got some thick cloud debris that has moved into the area and is sort of blowing off this rain complex that is out here to our west. And folks, that is going to be a very limiting factor to what severe potential that we can have for tomorrow. I've been talking for the past couple of days that there is a chance of severe weather for tomorrow, and we want to examine that tonight. You can see already some severe weather blowing up out to our west along with this cold front, and that is what would head our way eventually tomorrow. But a big question mark right now on just how bad it can end up being around here, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. Storm Prediction Center has placed us in a slight risk for severe weather tomorrow categorically. If we hover over the probabilistic, you can see it's a low end slight risk. If we put on our cities up here, you can see that really from Indianapolis up to maybe the Lafayette area, northwest Indiana, Merrillville, around in there. And then down here north of Terre Haute is in a 30% upper end slight risk area. But for the rest of us, just for all of southern Indiana, really here, just a slight risk. And you can see it actually ends at the Ohio River. Here's future radar just to give you an idea of what's going to go on. And we are expecting a squall line to develop tomorrow night. I have some doubts as to how reliable this model is right now. But let me go ahead and show you what it's doing. We'll put it into motion here for tonight. Overnight hours, we're fine. During the morning time tomorrow, there will be some rain that will blow off well to the north of us. Tomorrow afternoon, this starts to get its act together, and you can see it starts to develop into this squall line. Now, points up in here may well end up with some reasonably good chances of severe weather. But watch as it gets further and further along as it gets closer to us. Here we are at 11 p.m., and then here is midnight. Here is 1 a.m., 2 a.m. You can see it starts to fall apart as time goes on, and that's, of course, instability is going to go down the further on you go on this. But I have my questions as to how severe this line can end up being. Right now, I'm thinking it looks maybe more like a heavy rain threat for most of us in southern Indiana than a severe weather threat to me at this point. Now, let me show you some of the reasons why. First off, let's talk about cloud cover. We've already seen here on satellite, we've got some very thick cloud cover. Folks, as I put this into motion, we saw that this is all pushing our way. This is funneling in, and tomorrow, folks, it is just going to be an absolutely mostly cloudy day the way things look right now. Here's the way future satellite looks, and it is color-coded, so that helps you to see the temperature of the clouds. And you can see here we are by 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. We still got a very thick cloud deck over us. We get a few breaks potentially in the clouds, but we still have more clouds to go. We don't start to get some decent clearing here until maybe 2, 3, even 4 o'clock in the afternoon, according to this model. And then that, of course, we go a little bit clearer after that. That allows some things to blow up on the radar, and then boom, we get a pretty nice line and thick clouds to come in with that. However, here's the thing. Typically in Indiana, what we see is whenever we have severe storms that are to our west and we're expecting it the next day, oftentimes we see this blow off from these severe storms, and the thick cloud deck just stays around a lot longer than the modeling wants to keep it around, and then that ruins our severe weather chance. My current thinking is that may be what we're headed for tomorrow night. Is there a chance that we've got severe weather coming? Absolutely, but I'm not completely sold on it yet. I'm thinking this cloud deck is going to stay around a lot longer than what the models are seeing it, and we may end up seeing that be what comes the reality of it tomorrow. Bottom line is, if we can get some sunshine tomorrow afternoon like the high-res NAM wants to give us here, by noon, 1, maybe 2 o'clock on the rest of the day, if we can get some decent sunshine, then we do stand a chance of seeing that line stay reasonably severe as it moves over towards us. But if we don't see any breaks in the clouds until 5, 6 o'clock at night, you can kiss any severe chances pretty much goodbye, because we're not going to have a chance to have much of a heating in the atmosphere to really get that to go anywhere. Now, there'll be plenty of wind energy tomorrow. Wind energy is not going to be the problem, but you have to have some fuel in the atmosphere to be able to tap into that wind energy. And without the instability, the storms can't grow up to the level to be able to tap into that wind energy. And that means the wind energy can't be brought down to the surface to bring those severe winds. So it's all going to depend, at least in large part, on how much the cloud cover hangs around tomorrow. Another thing we also look at here is temperatures up in the mid layers of the atmosphere. And the bottom line is, I know most of you aren't going to understand the science behind this, but this is in Celsius. Whenever this is temperatures at about 4,000 or 5,000 feet up in the atmosphere, 19 degrees Celsius temperatures around the area. That's about 66 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's pretty warm to get severe weather, in my opinion. If we could get that more into a little bit lower than that, then we'd have a better chance. But that's still a pretty good warm pocket of air up there. That could also hinder our development. The bigger threat to me looks like a heavy rain event. Here we're taking a look at our precipitable waters, PWATS for short, as we sometimes call them. And by tomorrow night, as this line moves through, we've got 2-inch plus precipitable water amounts around the area. That's just screaming out to me a very heavy rain threat. And I think that may be more what we end up seeing out of this. We've already got some flash flood watches that have issued to our north, but some of the rest of us may get included on some of those. We'll just have to see. But this is what my current thinking is it looks like more of a heavy rain threat to me. It'll be warm tomorrow regardless of how we look at it. We're into the high-res NAM. High temperatures get up here to 86, 87 degrees across the area, even 85 as far north as Bloomington here. So it's going to be a warmer day than what we have seen the past couple of days. But beyond this, we've still got some big changes. Even though we've got that chance of severe weather tomorrow night, and I'm still going to leave the chance in the forecast. Storm Prediction Center still has us in the slight risk zone, so we'll still mention that it's in there. But folks, I really don't think it's going to be that bad. Now stay tuned. Tomorrow morning, if we see the cloud cover not coming in like we thought, then it absolutely could be a lot worse. So pay a close attention to the forecast tomorrow, and I'll keep you updated. But right now, it looks like the bigger story is going to be the rain, and then what comes behind this cold front is going to be a very, very sharp cool down. Let's take a look at what the GFS ensembles say for the next 16-day spread, and you can see very pleasant temperatures headed our way. It actually takes us to 89 tomorrow. I'm only forecasting about 86, 87 for most of us tomorrow because I think the cloud cover will help keep it down a little bit. I think the GFS is just inflating that a little bit too much there. But then behind that, look at this. We go from highs in the mid to upper 80s tomorrow, boom, down to the mid 70s. It keeps us waffling back and forth on what it wants to do for the weekend, whether it wants to go in the 60s or the low 70s. I've actually went with guidance still in the 60s for this. So, folks, it's going to get nice and cool temperatures, even in the upper 40s potentially on some of these nights. And then you can see as we go through the extended period, the highest it ends up having us is 79, so certainly not bad. Here is my updated 10-day forecast. You can go to southernindianaweather.com, click on your 10-day forecast here, and you'll be able to get this. Sponsored by the Smile Center there in Huntingburg. We'll down to a muggy 68 degrees tonight with a return of that humidity, folks. Kind of a partly cloudy, maybe even mostly cloudy, quite honestly, at times, sky tonight. Then tomorrow, mostly cloudy with thunderstorms likely, but probably not until late in the day. I think radar will stay clear a majority of the day, the way things look right now. It'll just be sort of a gloomy day. Severe thunderstorms, again, they're possible late evening into the early overnight hours, but that's certainly not a guarantee, and it looks like heavy rain to me ends up being the biggest threat. Stay tuned to the forecast tomorrow morning, folks, and we'll keep you updated. Showers and thunderstorms will then continue into the overnight hours on Wednesday, but then look at this. I'm only forecasting 71 on Thursday. A few lingering showers, but that should be gone by the afternoon hours. Friday and Saturday, both high temperatures in the 60s. Mostly sunny on Saturday, just unseasonably cool. We're going down to the mid-40s on Saturday night, folks. This is going to be chilly weather. And then look at this. On Sunday, Monday, even as far as the eye can see in the extended outlook, we're looking at low to mid-70s. So it's going to be a very pleasant stretch of weather coming up. Got a couple of small disturbances that might bring us some isolated showers, but in the extended outlook, but nothing big at this point. No major storms in the way. Just some very, very pleasant weather and something to look forward to. All right, folks, that's it for this video update. I'll keep you updated tomorrow morning with the latest on our severe weather threat. Again, just keep tuned to the forecast tomorrow because things can always change. It is the weather. The weather always changes. But again, just stay tuned to the forecast and we'll go from there, folks. Heavy rain threat is what it's looking to me like at this point. I'm meteorologist Micah Wilhite for Southern Indiana Weather. Have a great day, folks. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.